Hey everyone, Singleton Sean here, and today we're going to be going over async commands in WPF. So I recently got a suggestion to go over this, looked around on YouTube, didn't see anything, so I figured I would take a shot at it. So what I have set up here is this login view model, and I have this login command. Now ideally this login command is going to call this service I have here, this authentication service, and it's going to call this login method. And as you can see, this method is a task, so we're going to have to await it. We need an async command. So just some quick background on commands in WPF. There's really two ways that most people do them. They either put all of their command logic into actual command classes, or they use some kind of relay or delegate or callback command, whatever you want to call it, to handle their command logic, and then just pass a callback from the view model into that relay command. So we're going to be going over both methods in relation to async commands in this video. But whichever method you choose, you're going to have to start off by creating a new folder here for commands. And inside here, we're going to have an AsyncCommandBase class. So all of our async commands are going to inherit from this base class, and this base class is going to take care of all of the async things that we need to do. So this, of course, is going to implement the iCommand interface. So can execute, that basically just tells whatever this command is binded to whether or not the command can execute. So say if can execute is false, then the button that this is binded to will be disabled. So what we're going to do for now is just leave this as true, but we're going to come back to this in just a little bit and customize this implementation. And then we also have this execute method down here, and this is where we're going to put our command logic. Now in our case, we need to call an async method, so we need to await something. And that's a problem because this is just a void. So what we can do is make this an async void. And this is a little bit different than most async await things, because really you would want this to be an async task. But if we do that, that'll break this interface. So we need to leave this as async void. And the big issue with async void comes with exception handling. So say this throws an exception. As you can see, we'll just leave this here. So this throws an exception. So any caller of this execute method, even if the call is wrapped in a try-catch, the try-catch that this is wrapped in is not going to catch the exception, and that's bad because exceptions should be handled and taken care of so you can put your application in a valid state. So that's another thing we're going to have to take care of, but for now, let's just continue to set up this base class. So what we're going to do in here is just await and execute a sync method, and what this is going to be is just an abstract method. So we're going to have to make this class abstract. So it's going to be an abstract method. Let's generate that. And now any subclasses of AsyncCommandBase are going to implement this execute async and take care of their async work in there, and will handle all of the plumbing of this async void in this base class, as well as this can execute and the can execute changed. So now we have this base class. Let's go ahead and implement a login command, and it's going to inherit from AsyncCommandBase. And now we generate all of the overrides, and all we need to worry about is implementing this execute async. So that's great because everything is taken care of in this AsyncCommandBase. So for this login command, all I'm going to do is get my login view model, and I'm also going to get an authentication service. Let's generate a constructor for all that. And now let's do the login. So we're going to make this an async task so we can await in here. And first off, I'm going to set my login view model status message to logging in. And then I'm going to take my authentication service and call that async login method. I'm going to pass in the username from the view model, and then once that's done, I'm going to set the status message to successfully logged in. There we go. So that is my async command. Now let's go into my login view model. Let's create a constructor here, and we're going to set the login command to a new login command, and that takes this view model, and we'll just new up an authentication service right here. Ideally I would take this through the constructor, but this is just a simple example. Okay, so let's put a breakpoint right here, and let's test out this wonderful async command. Alright, so I'll put a username here, and we'll log in. We hit this breakpoint. Let's just go ahead and continue through here. So we're logging in, and then we hit the next breakpoint, and we get the success status message. So that's great. We did all the async await that we wanted to, but there actually is a problem here, and that is you could spam this button as much as you want. And ideally, you wouldn't want the user to be able to spam this button as many times as they want if the task is already executing. So what we can do is go into our async command base, and what a lot of async command implementations do that I've seen is they will change this can execute to false if the command is already executing. So let's go ahead and set that up. So we're going to have a private bool for is executing, and we're actually going to wrap this in a property, is executing. So the getter is just going to return is executing, and then in the setter, we're going to set is executing to the value, but we're also going to have to raise this can execute change. So let's take that event and let's invoke it, and this takes this as the sender and new event args. We don't really have any event args, so we'll just pass in default ones, and that's going to raise this can execute changed, and then whatever this command is binded to, say a button, it's going to grab this new can execute value, and in our case the can execute value is going to be if the command is not executing. So if it's not executing, then it can execute, and that's great. So now we need to actually toggle this property, so we're going to do that in our execute method. So before we execute, we're going to set is executing the true, and then once we're done, we're going to set is executing the false. And for some reason I still have it saying this is never used when clearly it is, but maybe that'll go away. Another thing is I do this question mark here, and what that does is if can execute changed has no subscribers, then it's not going to invoke the event, which is great because if it didn't have any subscribers and we tried to invoke this event, it would throw a null pointer. So now we have that. Let's go ahead and test this out. There we go, it went away. Okay. So we're gonna log in, and now we're logging in. We can't click this button, it's disabled. I kind of have like a style issue here because my text stays white, but anyways, the button is correctly being disabled, so that's great. Our async command is looking better. Now the other thing we need to do is take care of exceptions. So what happens if execute async throws exceptions? Well, let's try that out. Let's throw a new exception, and we'll just say login failed. Alright, so we log in, and we throw this exception, we continue, and the application crashes. So there's multiple approaches you could take here. You could do nothing, and just let your application crash, and just assume that any subclasses of AsyncCommandBase handle their exceptions. Or you could wrap this in a try catch, like that, and then do nothing inside of this exception handler, so kind of just like a fire and forget, but that might not be the best because it's always good to handle exceptions somehow. So another thing you can do is create a constructor, and this constructor will require a callback for an exception, and we'll call this onException. Let's generate a field for that, and let's move this up here, clean this up a little bit. And now that we have this callback, what we can do is whenever an exception gets caught, we can call that callback with the exception. And this pretty much forces the exception to be handled because we have this constructor, and now our logging command is going to need an action for an exception or a callback. And then we pass that to the base class like that. And now in our login view model, we need to pass that onException callback. And what we can do is just put a little inline callback here and set the status message on the view model to the exception message. So now we're forcing this exception to always be handled. So we'll log in, and we get login failed because that is our exception message. So that's one way you can do it. Again, choose whatever you feel is right for your application. Maybe you're okay with just fire and forget, don't handle exceptions. Maybe you don't want to handle exception handling at all, and you just want to make sure that all the derived async commands handle exceptions on their own. But for now, I'm just going to leave this with the callback required. So that pretty much sums up doing commands per class, implementing your commands in a little class. Let's go ahead and actually do an async relay command or delegate command, whatever the frick you want to call it. So let's make this new item here, and this is going to be the async relay command. And this is going to be a public class, and we're just going to inherit from our async command base, of course. So let's implement that abstract class, and now we're also going to need that constructor as well. And now this is a relay command, so what we need is a callback to execute, and it needs to be async as well. So what this needs to be is a func that returns a task, and that task is going to be what we await. So we're just going to call this the callback, and we need to get this from the constructor. So let's put a parameter there for that, and then let's set that field that we just created. And now we have this async function to call, so all we need to do down here is actually await it. So let's make this async, and let's await this callback function. So we call this function right here that returns a task, and then we await it. And let's test this out in our login view model. So what we're going to do is set the login command to be a new async relay command, and that's going to need our callback. So we're just going to call this login. That's a method that we haven't implemented yet, and then we still have this on exception, so let's just copy that from up here, paste it right there, and let's create this callback that we want to call in our async relay command. So let's generate the method login, and all that's going to do, I'm actually just going to grab this from my other login command and paste it in there. And we need an authentication service, and what I'm actually going to do is just create a new one right here like that. And then we don't need to reference the login view model because we're inside of it right now, so we can just grab all those properties, and there we go. So we should execute this login method. Let's go ahead and test this out. Alright, so we log in, and there we go, we're in this login method. We can continue. We're logging in now. Button is disabled, that's great. And then we finally log in, and it sets the status message. And that is great. We can also throw exceptions in here like that. And let's see how this goes. So we log in, and login failed. So that's great. That is our async command. So most important thing is this async command base. We keep track of if the command is executing, and if it is executing, then we cannot execute. We can only execute if it's not already executing. And we correctly set that property before and after we execute. And then we also did some exception handling. Multiple ways you can do this. You could force a callback to handle the exception. You could get rid of this and do a fire and forget, or you could just not try catch at all and force all of the subclasses to implement exception handling. Anyways, that's going to wrap up async commands. If you have any questions, criticisms, or concerns, be sure to leave them below in the comments section. I hope you guys learned something from this video, and if you did, be sure to leave a like or subscribe for more. Thank you.